couple of years ago, on a Sunday morning, I got a phone call from one of my colleagues. He was sick, needed somebody to fill in for him for a speech on Tuesday. He asked if I was available. I was. So I hung up the phone, called up the airline. One of the top 3 U.S. airlines. Wanted to find out how much it was to fly from San Diego to this city, a little more than an hour away. Find out that the one-way fare is $450. I said, you got to be kidding me. There's got to be a better fare. Look for it. So she looked. She said, I found one. I said, what is it? She said, $169. I said, I want it. She said, there's 2 restrictions. I said, oh, what? She said, number 1, it's non-refundable. I said, big deal. I'm going on Tuesday. She said, number 2, it's a 3-day advance purchase. I said, what are you telling me this for? I said, today's Sunday. I'm going on Tuesday. I don't qualify. She said, yes, you do. I said, how do you figure? She said, Sunday's day 1, Monday's day 2, and Tuesday's day 3. There's 3 days. I said, hey, if that's how you count, book it. I want it. So she puts in all the input. At the end, she says, do you want me to mail the ticket to you? I said, no, I don't think we're going to have time. Can I call up my travel agent tomorrow morning, first thing Monday, and get it from her? She said, no problem. Next morning, call up my travel agent, gave her all the relevant information, told her to ticket it, take it to me by noon. She calls me 10 minutes later, says, Tony, there's a problem. They want you to call. I said, me? Why can't you handle it? She said, they won't tell me. They want you. I said, all right, give me the number. I call up, give him my reservation number. The reservation agent said, oh, I see what the problem is. I said, what do you mean problem? He said, the problem is that we quoted you the wrong fare. I said, whoa, wait a second. You told me $169. She said, yes, we did, but that's the wrong fare. You don't qualify for that fare. You have to pay $450. I said, no. You told me yesterday $169. I made my plans based around that. That's what I'm going to pay. She said, do you have the ticket? I said, no. She said, then you're going to pay $450. I said, I can't believe what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is that your person made a mistake. Is that right? She said, yes. But I'm going to pay for it. Is that right? She said, yes. I said, no. Give me your supervisor. She puts me on hold. 7 minutes later, supervisor answers. I said, ma'am, are you familiar with my...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?